What's up, guys? So in today's video, I'm just going to be kind of walking you guys through what I look for when I'm looking at Jeeps online. I bought a couple of my Jeeps online, and just kind of wanted to give you guys kind of the steps I take, the questions I ask, some of the websites I use to check the VIN, check the parts that are on the Jeep, things like that. Just kind of give you guys kind of like a little bit of an overview on kind of just the things I look, just to maybe help out some people that are maybe kind of new to looking at stuff online, just some more stuff to look at. So obviously, the more pictures, the better. So this listing right here is really good. He's got a nice little description of the Jeep, mileage, what engine's in it. It's got the VIN, which is really nice to have, and then just a bunch of pictures of the thing. So this is like a nice listing where you probably don't have to ask for more pictures. He's already got shots of the underside of the Jeep, which is really critical, especially with these Jeeps. They're starting to get old, and then if they're in anywhere where they use rolled salts, they're going to be rusty. So you definitely want to see that. So anyway, we'll look at a listing that the Jeep looks nice, but it doesn't have a lot of pictures on it. So this one's he's got a little bit of information on it, not much, mileage, and then just a couple pictures, not that many pictures. So first thing I would do for this guy is I would ask for more pictures. So I'd ask for underside shots of the Jeep, of the frame, and then the body mounts, and then underneath the hood, look at that too. And then obviously like more interior pictures, see what kind of condition the seats are in, all that kind of stuff. So then another thing I would ask, is there anything wrong with the Jeep? Any rust spots, things like that. So another thing I would ask is for the VIN number. Now with the VIN number, we can check a bunch of different things. There's a couple free like VIN checks to see if it's been in an accident, stolen, like how many times it's been sold, things like that. So the VIN's nice to get. Some people are a little weird about giving out VIN numbers, but if you can get it, that's great. Anyway, so things I would do from this guy: more pictures, get the VIN number, and then what I really like to do is I really like to talk to people. So if you can get his phone number and just talk to the person, and this will usually get a lot more out of people. So like, say you're talking to them on the phone, asking them questions like, is there anything wrong with the Jeep? And then just be quiet. Don't say like, hey, does it drive well? Just say, is there anything wrong with the Jeep? And then just let them talk. And even when they're kind of done talking, kind of just be quiet. Don't interrupt them, because usually people just keep they don't like the silence, so they'll just keep talking. And if there's anything like wrong with the Jeep, generally like that eventually will come out. People just like to talk. But eventually things like that will come out. So just listen to people, what they're saying about the Jeep. I like to talk on the phone just for that reason, kind of get a feel for the person as much as you can, obviously over the phone, but that's helpful. But anyway, so those are things I would ask from this guy. Let's say it's a listing like this where you got all the pictures you need, all you want. There's nothing, missing from the photos. They did a nice job taking all the photos, and you had the VIN. I'll link these websites in the description, but we're going to copy and paste the VIN. And then the first one is vehiclehistory.com. You type in the VIN, and then you will get just some sales history. So here's a couple different. So in 2020, looks like the listing price was $12,900. 2023, it's for $15,250. You get a couple like just generic information on the vehicle, like year, model, all that kind of, what trim level, all that kind of stuff. So this one's a little bit more basic, but it does give you a little bit. Another one is nicb.org. So this will tell you if it's got theft or if it was a total loss. So this one checked out good. And then the one that kind of gives the most information is vehicle.report. And this one here will give us a bunch of different things here. So no thefts were found on this one, no accidents were found, no salvage records found. It does have 20 sales records. So if you go to sales records, these are all the sales records. You can see it was in North Carolina, then it went to Kentucky, back to North Carolina, then Kentucky. Yeah, so you can see it's been through a couple different dealers, kind of like the listing price. They won't show the actual sales price. You can see what it was listed for a while here. And yeah, so those are kind of like the VIN checks. And then obviously if you want to pay money, you can do the Carfax, and that's probably going to be the most accurate on oil changes, accidents, all that kind of stuff. That'll all be in there. You have to pay for those. So if you're really interested in the Jeep and it's a little bit farther away, it might be worth, I think it's like 40 bucks or something like that. That might be worth it to just pay the money for just to have a Carfax. If you're really into the Jeep, it's got everything you want. That's probably a little bit, it's definitely worth it. A lot of times the dealerships will actually pay for the Carfax for free. So if you see something listed online, like at here at on Craigslist, a lot of times they'll put, like, if it's at a dealer, they'll put wherever the dealership is, and then you can go to their website, and then a lot of times once you're on their website, they'll have the Carfax button. You click on that, and you can open it up, you can view it all. So definitely be on the lookout for that. If it's at a dealership, you can. A lot of times the dealers will pay for that, which is nice. The third and final one is going to be the equipment listing. So what this does is you type the VIN in. I've done a couple videos on this, and this basically shows you all the equipment, like the original build sheet of the Jeep, I guess. So you have we have the 2005 Wrangler X. It's got all the standard equipment. And if you keep scrolling down, you can see optional equipment. So here's where we can see what they actually optioned on top of it. So this one has a 6-speed manual. It's got the 4-liter, and it's got 373s, and it has the heavy-duty Dana 44 rear axle, which is awesome. So you would never know, based off of these photos, what axle's in it. I don't think they have a direct shot of the actual rear axle, so you really would have no idea. But this one actually is a pretty decent Jeep. It's got the 4-liter 373s and a Dana 44. Pretty sweet. So that's kind of how I kind of go throughout the process. You look at the Jeep, obviously look at all the pictures, see if there's any rust. Basically, if there's a ton of rust, like there's rust on the outside of the Jeep that you can see from the pictures, generally the underside is probably going to be toast. You know, if you see, let's see if you can, I don't know if I got any pictures here of any rusty Jeeps, but yeah. So anyway, like, so if there's rust showing like in this area here or on the fenders, things like that, generally the rest of the Jeep's probably going to be crap too. So that's just something to consider. You know, if you're mechanically inclined or know how to weld and can fix that, definitely fixable. But if you're not really into that at all, I would just steer clear away from, like, if you can see outward rust, generally the underside's going to be toast. So, this listing is actually pretty decent, but they really don't have any pictures of the underside of the Jeep. The Jeep looks great, but something like this, I would definitely ask for underside pictures before I would look at it. You can kind of see it's pretty clean. But it's just not worth going to look at a Jeep. I've seen a lot of weird Jeeps where they look pristine, the body looks pristine, and then the frames are rotted out or the bodies are rotted out. Yeah, so just kind of be on the lookout for that. So that's pretty much all I really do when it comes to the stuff online. If the Jeep is really far away, like my Cherokee was in Florida, and I didn't fly to go see it, I video chatted with the guy. So I talked to him on the phone first. We kind of talked about the Jeep, and then I said, hey, you know, I live far away. You know, I can't really come see it. Would you be willing to record some videos for me, as well as do some, do like a video chat? And if they're not willing to do that, that's a red flag, run away. You know, if they're willing to do that, that's good. You know, they're a little bit more trustworthy, I guess. But so my Jeep, I saw driving videos, startup videos, freeway driving, all that. So basically, like, I had him test drive it for me, and he recorded it all. And then I also did, we video chatted a little bit and kind of showed me all the issues with the Jeep before I got it. So it's definitely a little bit more sketchy doing it that way. Definitely more risky buying something without actually seeing it in person. But sometimes you just can't. So yeah, so those are just kind of my main little small tips when looking for a TJ online. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Hopefully you learned something new that you didn't know before. If you did, definitely give the video a thumbs up. That helps me out a bunch, guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.